Go ahead. What were you saying? The new system you have?
Yeah, it's not only a mixer, but it records.
It does.
It records every channel individually.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, we have, well, our band is 7 people, 18 channels.
But then you can control it so much better. I mean, if you just have this one or two microphones, you know, somebody's playing a little too loud or singing, you can mix better, can't you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's mixed also. We'll give it to Mike Forkel.
Okay.
And then he'll mix it, and then he'll give the band a CD. You know, how cool is that?
You mean every band that comes to your to play for the Music Conservancy gets a mixed tape.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
And they could do whatever they want. Richard Weigel had copies made, and he's selling them. You know, but it was just him.
Yeah.
So we had his vocal input and then his guitar input.
Okay.
So that was really simple.
Yeah.
You know, Staff Infection with 18 inputs, it's a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
Well, it takes longer. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's so nice to have Mike, who has that background probably in production, and was he in radio for a while?
Yeah,
he does he does your radio station, right? You and Mike.
he manages it, or program director, I guess would be the way to say it, because it's all automated.
Yeah.
So it's the best thing for us, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to pay anybody, you know, and we've had some tough times with some equipment issues.
Mm-hmm.
And like when it's freezing rain, the antenna freezes.
Sure. Yeah.
Transmitter shuts off automatically.
Yep.
And
Right.
so so it thaws out, got to go up to the tower. It's in black earth and reset it manually. And it must happen 7-8 times this winter. Now we could run some heat tapes up, and because I mean commercial places they have heated towers.
Yes, correct.
But I don't know if they probably have a little more sophisticated system than we have.
Yeah, I suppose.
Probably not running
Oh, that was the
extension
thing.
cords.
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
anything
there's
like that.
stories of, I mean, I worked in radio for 30 years, and the engineer, you know, up at 2:00 up to the hill where the tower is, and he's having to climb part of it or get to the transmitter, turn things off and on, recalibrate things. It's just...
Yeah. When you're a commercial station, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to stay on the air.
Yes, right.
And you know, one of the things I remember, well, the floods were in 18, and Mike was broadcasting. He records everything, and then, you know, where you can get food, numbers to call, when's this person going to be in town, da-da-da. So we were a big help, I think, during that time. Of course, we never know how many people are listening, and now we had some issue with some piece of software that allows us, Mike's computer is in his house.
Okay.
And he can, through the internet, connect to the transmitter. Okay. Well, this piece of equipment, you have to put down 3 different sources for music.
Okay.
One of them is their source, but the primary one is our source.
I see. Okay.
Somehow it flipped. What happened? It went to their source. All of a sudden, didn't sound like our station.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And so Mike found that out, and it took, called the company, and the fellow was from India, which made it really hard
to communicate.
to understand.
Yep.
They eventually got it right, but in the meantime, it halted our streaming process. And so now we've got to work on getting the stream back. So I'm going to get Bill Biting to help me with that. He does IT work for UW Hospital.
Okay. So he'll know what he's doing.
Yeah, he'll know. We're just kind of...
Yeah.
Those people are nice, aren't they? Know what you do that. I don't know anything about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So how many cameras you have? Just the 2?
Just these 2.
Okay.
We had 2 other ones, but these they didn't record for longer than 30 minutes. So we always had to talk within 30 minutes. So you're like getting close to the time. That's what we had a clock for. And
it was nerve-wracking
terrible.
because we'd be sitting there and we'd have a guest and I'd be thinking, okay, I don't want to cut them off because they're right in the middle of a story. Yeah. And it's their story and you want them to be able to talk, but you're going to get shut off. So it was like I was having to do my old radio interviews. Like, well, in 1 minute, can you tell me about? It's like that's not how podcasts work. You're not supposed to be doing 1 minute segments.
No, I listened to them, and some are 47 minutes, and some are 32 minutes.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
Those of us that grew up in the radio era with half an hour, or 29:30. That's what you always had to time to, or 14:30 to fit in 15, or 29:30 to fit into 29 seconds. And anyway, I mean, we were just always everything had to be hit at the top of the hour for news and stuff like that, hard posts. Were you in radio other than what you do? You never did live radio.
I did.
You did? Okay.
I did when I was in Medford. The radio station had a local station. Mm-hmm. A lot of those cities up north have just local stations. But they always did the Tuesday, Friday basketball games. Mm. And I was reffing at the time, so I do the JV game. And I listened to the radio station. I go, man, this is a good. So I went and talked to him, and I said, well, how about if I do this? I'll get done, take a shower, I'll come up, and I'll just add to whatever. And the fellow I worked with, great guy, we developed a good friendship. And I did it for free, and then the next year they started paying me $20 a game.
Well, they must have thought you were worth it then. You brought something to the table.
Yeah. I was I was a certified official. Yeah. Played at coach, so I had a good background, I thought, especially in the officiating sense. Yeah. Looked at the rules, knew them. Yeah. And so so I would referee JV on Friday night, all I had to do was just come and sit down. Yeah. And at the time, it was just one microphone, no headphones. One microphone.
Yeah. So you had to, he just turned it? Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. That's funny.
And when I left, they hired another guy, and then they had the 2 mics, headphones, everything. So it was all a lot more modern. Yeah. Yeah. But it was amazing how they still, they had to have a telephone hookup. And so every press box had a telephone hookup. Every place in the gymnasium, we were sitting up, had a telephone hookup because that's how they did it. Yeah, right. Did it all. Yeah. And then on Saturday, I'd referee the Lutheran boys and girls game. They had Saturday league, $20 a game. So I was making $80 in a weekend. I was only making $200 a week teaching. I could make $80. Yeah. So
if you go back in time, like I talk about my first voiceover job when my first contract in radio was in 1982. It was $10,000 a year. And one guy came across and said, hey, I heard your voice. Would you come and do a voiceover for me? I drove across Grand Rapids over in Michigan, drove across town, spent 10 minutes doing it. He sent me a check for $60. $60 doesn't seem like much right now, but that was like, you hit the jackpot. Yeah, yeah. And back in the early 80s when you were making 10 grand, we've got to have you, we'll have to, we talked about, you've got your school background,
school
and
background.
And then the radio station, the Music Conservancy, and there's probably a bunch of other
the
stuff.
community band.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Well, and that's what we'll just have to have you come back again because we kind of wanted to focus in on the Music Conservancy.
No, that's
We've already talked a while about the radio, and I think that would be fun. I'm very interested in radio and stuff, so it's fun.
And I know that you'd help us if we ever had any issues. I mean, you'd let us know if you could help.
Yeah, it would probably be just on the air stuff because I'm clueless when it comes to engineering or transmitters and stuff. But let's talk a little bit about the Music Conservancy. Yeah. What I was thinking, what we would do, if it's okay with you, you have an event coming up next Friday?
This Friday.
This Friday.
The 5th.
Our podcast comes out, and we already have an interview Jared Brunner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He
Good
had
man.
and he had cancer. He had lymphoma, and so we've had him on, talked about his growing. It's a 2-parter, so it would be this Wednesday and the next Wednesday. But I thought maybe what we could do, if you're willing to, is we could do an interview just about the Conservancy, the history, some different things like that.
Sure.
And then we could just kind of just morph or just stop and just talk about. We're here with Jim Schroeder, Music Conservancy, Mazomania Music Conservancy, and you've got an event coming up this Friday. So we can put that in our podcast this week. So it comes out Wednesday. It'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
That sounds great.
It'll be a little commercial, if you will.
Yeah.
It can be a few minutes, but does that sound all right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'd like to come back. This is our 25th year of our community band.
Wow.
Yeah, we founded in 1998. And so we're trying to promote that. Yeah. You know, we're doing 6 concerts this year. Just enjoying, it's quite amazing, you know, and I think right now we've got about 35 members, roughly. And I would say 10 of them are original members.
Really?
Could be even more than that.
That's amazing. That's something.
Usually you can't quit. You usually die. Which it sounds kind of
morbid, but it's true anyway.
Yeah. But we've, you know, that's a sad part about it. But or the physicalness of their lips doesn't allow them to. They could practice. They can't get any strength.
Yeah.
And so
that makes sense.
And then we have enough percussionists.
I was going to say, you can't have 30 percussionists.
We got 5 already.
Yeah.
And we try to discourage anybody from, they all want, hey, could we play? No, we got plenty. And there's very few songs where we don't have all the parts covered. Christmas time, our director, Nick, really loaded up the percussion parts. And so in one song, we may have 3 different parts per person.
Okay, yeah.
Well, you were a percussionist, weren't you?
So you have like different auxiliary things along with the main parts.
We'd have 5 parts. Percussion 1, percussion 2, percussion 5. And each of those had 3 to 4 different parts. We have 5 players. Each person got a part, but had to play like 3 different instruments during the time.
That was the one thing that I found that was fun about percussion, is you didn't just have one instrument to play.
Yeah.
And you could play the timpani one time, you could play the snare drum, bass drum, you know, you could play the triangle or the suspended cymbal. There are all sorts of different things that you could play. You weren't just, and that's not a shot at other instruments. It was just you had a plethora of different instruments you could play and learn to play, which was fun.
Yeah, I played musical this year again, and I played the musical for 10 years now. I think they've had 12. I might have missed one. I missed one, I know. But it was a rock. It was Mean Girls, so rock beat. Mm-hmm. I'm not a rock drummer. You know, I could play Chicago because we played it for 15 years.
Sure.
You know, I could play that. But so the other guy who plays percussion with us, I told him, he's trying to learn the set. Mm-hmm. And so I said, here's a good chance for you to learn. And he did a nice job. But I got the auxiliary book. I looked it up to the instruments, 32 instruments I was supposed to play for the musical.
That's a couple.
I had to look some of them up. I didn't even know what they were.
Really?
Yeah. Tam Tam.
Oh,
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
What is that?
I got my phone on. I look at it. It's a gong.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Just say gong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got it narrowed down to about 15, like bongos, congas, bongos, djembes. I just played on the bongos, you know.
Sure, I see.
I couldn't have that much stuff with me, you know. It would have been impossible. Plus playing timpani and tuning the timpani between every song.
Mm-hmm. That's fun.
I got a phone app for that. The band director told me I should get this phone app, so I got it. And you know, I could hit a B or B flat, listen to it, Yeah, but try to do that
Instead of playing what's the little
the mouth
the little one we used to do that you'd
hand tuner,
and you'd have to go down there, do it real quiet during the somebody was talking about the next piece, and you're like, hurry and get this up. I hope I get it right.
Yeah, but then I decided if it was close, that's good enough because you know my part is like one part was boom, 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 and there were 8 other people playing that same part.
Oh, so it wouldn't matter so much.
So it didn't matter if I was spot on.
Yeah.
Just so they got that rhythm. Just so I got the rhythm right.
Yes. Yeah. So just for planning's sake, for us, when do your concerts start?
6 o'clock.
But I'm sorry.
Oh,
For not the Conservancy, but the Iron Horse.
Oh, Iron Horse.
When will those concerts start so we would know when to try to get you back on to talk about that?
Well, our first one is Memorial Day.
It is.
So that's the 29th.
Okay.
And then our second one, well, and Memorial Day, you know, we've done those for years. I think you even helped us out one time. Which was very touching, if I remember. You were reading and we were playing.
I think that's right. Yeah.
And we'll get you back for that.
Okay.
And so, you know, we only play 4 or 5 songs. Then our first concert is the 6th in Black Earth.
Of June.
Of June.
Okay.
So if you wanted to go like the 31st of May, well, no, that's a Wednesday.
Well, we'll look at our schedule and try to make sure we get you up here to talk about that before that time, even if it's just a highlight of that, even if we don't go into the whole blown story, but we could because it's kind of it's the anniversary that you want to promote too, along with the concerts.
Yep.
So we'll work on having that.
Okay.
We'll get that done.
Okay. So those are the 2 start dates, Memorial Day and then Tuesday, got to get it right, the 6th.
Okay.
June 6th.
And that's
We'll
in
shoot
Black
29th and 6th. We'll keep that down.
So let's talk about the Music Conservancy.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about is the Music Conservancy as old as your involvement in it? Did you begin it? Or you with some other folks?
Well, it was, let's see how it started. We used to, it was Staph Infection Band. It goes back to the roots of Staph Infection Band. And STAFF, were originally all members of Mount Horeb teaching staff who got a band together to play in a fundraiser.
Okay.
After the fundraiser, there's still some people that wanted to keep playing because they hadn't, some of them had never been in a band before. And found they really liked it. And so throughout the time, I would have to say that was around, I'd say, can't believe it's been that long. I'd say 05. That's what I do.
So you're coming up on 20 years with that too.
Yeah. But so the band changes. People drop out. We get new people. Deb and our friend Joanne, are the only 2 original members, and they both were teachers at Mount Horeb.
Okay.
So, so then we start playing. We start playing out. We play at the Red Mouse in Pine Bluff. We used to play Fridays afternoons, or we'd start at 6, be done by 9.
Okay.
Because we're old people. We don't want to start at 9 and get home at 3. That's not.
It's not your thing. Yeah.
Not fun.
Yeah.
To do that.
Yeah.
So we started. We do it every Friday, first Friday. Okay, once a month. It was fit everybody, and we had other gigs too in the meantime. And then we, the last incarnation of, well, it wasn't the last, second to last, we invited Gene and Mike Kieser to play with us, and Mike Forkel, because they all live, Gene and Mike live in town, and Mike Kieser lives in Middleton.
Okay.
Heights grad, wants to play with his dad.
Yeah.
And so we're playing gigs and just focusing on afternoons. Again, not wanting to stay out late. Well, Bob Brumley, I don't know if you remember Bob.
The name is familiar.
Ran this art place downtown.
Oh, okay.
This art gallery.
Okay.
And we were friends. He decided that he was going to buy what we call the Beehive Church, and thought it would be a good place to play music. Okay, and it was. It was phenomenal. So we did some remodeling. Had a small stage, like just 2 steps off the floor, so the crowd was right with you, And so we said, why don't we really thought First Fridays were success. The Red Mouse was packed. There were 200 people in there who'd come to play or listen to us play.
Really? Huh.
So we said, well, let's do First Fridays. And what we'll do is Staff Infection will play for 2 hours, and then we'll have a jam. Okay. All right. And we did that for...
Which means jam. Other people can just come on, join, grab their guitar or whatever.
Yep. And invite other musicians. And so we used to have some pretty nice jams, but if you've ever been involved in a jam, they can be really good or they can be really bad.
Depends who comes to jam, right?
Or if they don't know the etiquette of a jam, or if they are no good, they know one song. Well, go ahead and play it, and we'll play along with you. Just tell us what key it's in, and we'll figure it out. And so we ended up figuring this jam isn't working. It's really hard work, and people are leaving. When we get done. So why don't we cut it back? We'll play for an hour and 15. Then we'll hire another band to come in and follow us up.
So now, Jim, this is when did you buy the old Episcopal church, the Beehive Church? When did you buy that?
Well,
when did Bob buy that?
Bob bought that. I wanted to say, I'd have to say around 05, I'd say.
Okay, so the Conservancy, that's kind of when the Conservancy started, if you will.
Yeah.
You left the Red Mouse, if you will, and started to focus on that venue, and that became the location of the Conservancy.
Right, and we had a sign that says, because he was renting it out, but not a lot, because we were only there one night a month. David
was there, I think, piano man.
Dave had piano lessons there. That. And then, Dave eventually joined our group.
He did. Okay.
Yeah, and then he moved to, where's the Football Hall of Fame?
Canton,
Ohio. But he's moving back now. Well, we got another piano player, so I don't...
Dueling piano players.
Organist maybe or
we
something.
don't need 8 pieces.
Jazz organist.
Because I run the sound.
Okay, yeah.
And so I don't need one more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
I got you off track. I just wanted to, for me, because some of the folks listening, they won't know those things, but I just wanted to see if that was kind of the start where you got that location. And so...
That was the start.
Got it.
That was when we decided... we want to continue to play, but we don't want to play late at night, and we want to play in front of people. So the first show, we had people bring their own lawn chairs, like it was an outdoor concert, because we didn't have any chairs. We got a very serious contribution after that first show, and we bought chairs. But eventually what happened, which happens, is that we could no longer fit in that building. People, it was packed, people outside, people bring chairs to sit and listen outside. And we thought, man, we're doing people a disservice.
What would that hold?
70. Yeah, and I think the community building holds like 150 or something like that. So were able to double it. Plus, part of the deal was we told Bob we'd mow the lawn and shovel the snow because we knew that he probably wasn't going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes the water would freeze there. And, you know, what do? You got 70 people and you don't have a bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do? You can't do it. You can't go on.
Right.
No. So when we moved over, it was mostly though because of the space.
What year did you? How long were you there in the church building?
Well, let's say, you know, I'm all basing this on my retirement.
Yes.
Because that's about the only date I remember. It's 2011.
That sticks out in your mind.
Yeah. I would say we probably started there around, I would say, let's say 07, I would say. And I would say we've been at the community building. We were there 3 years before COVID.
Okay.
So that would have been around 2017. That's not right, though. I bet we were there 5 years before COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that way that would put us about 7 or 8 years at the Conservancy Hall.
Okay, at the church, former church building, and then then you've been a total of what, 5-6 years at?
Yeah, I'd say since 15. I would just guess
with
that.
the parenthesis of the COVID year and a half.
Yeah,
or two.
where we didn't do anything for 2 years.
Sure.
Our last show was March of 2020, and we had just got our new sound system, and it's really hard. I mean, there's so many things to it. Closed down for 2 years. We had to get it out and set it up and practice with it. You know, we rent the community building when everybody had their shots and everything, and then we would have practice, and so we could get this stuff out and get to know how to use it again.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing. Plus, we hadn't played anywhere either in 2 years.
Did you find that moving from the church building with probably pretty good acoustics, smaller space, to all of a sudden a bigger space, was that more difficult with the acoustics and such?
Yeah, it was, even though the community building has real good acoustics. It's got the soft ceiling, hard floor, but it's fine. One thing we debated, though, was we're going to do our first show, we'll do it from the stage. Second day, we'll do it from the floor. Okay, because we were so used to having the fans right here. I mean, truly, they'd be... And so we set up on the stage and never did go to the floor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We talked to everybody. Said, how was it okay?
Yeah.
I mean, did you feel the same hominess,
Yeah.
the same closeness?
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, we felt the same closeness.
You can get fairly close to this. It's not like some of those big venues you watch, those rock or country.
Yeah.
They're like 100 yards away. And it's just
You're
hard
basically
to...
watching the screen that they're on.
It just doesn't seem like it would be that much fun to watch or to perform in front of, because you feel so far from your... But you felt the connection there. And
and it everything worked out so well that we don't have to shovel the sidewalk. We don't have to mow the grass. Air conditioners work.
So do you have to rent the building, and you have to, do you still hire a one band?
Yep.
Is it always one band? It's Staff Infection, still the same plan as far as the program? You guys go an hour and 15 minutes, and then it's and how long do they go?
Yep. And then they'll go till 9, or if they want to play over, they can.
Okay.
A lot of them, you know, you get warming up, you get going, and you get your set list. Is it okay if we finish the set? Yeah, it's okay. Because we don't really have any hard deadline. Like, we're not going to get closed down if we go to 9:30, you know, because it's in the building. And so we've even made another adjustment. We built a cabinet to store all of our equipment, because I used to store it at home. So back the car up, load it up.
transportation.
You didn't have any groupies or what are they called? Roadies. You didn't have roadies. You had to do it yourself.
No, it was me.
Yeah.
And then unload it, set it up, break it down, load it.
And this can be a little hard, even if it's built for traveling. It can be a little hard on equipment and stuff like that.
It's really nice.
And your back.
We found with this stuff, it's nice to just have it in one spot too. Like we took this down to 1855, and it's like then getting it back here. And it's just nice to have it set.
Same type
there,
of thing.
and it's
Where we can't leave it set up because there's other groups that use the community building. But we put this cart on wheels, we wheel it out. You know, as you know, it's rolling up chords. It takes so long. You know, if you got 18 inputs, it's 18 chords. 17, Mike has a Forkel has a wireless for his fiddle. Okay. So we just plug the receiver in. But it's 18 chords. Some of them are 50 footers. Well, that's not counting the 4 monitors and 2 speakers, which are all powered. So that's all electric's got to go to them, plus cables. Yeah, it takes 3 of us break down. Some we won't let them because
they'll break it down.
They'll especially chords, when you're dealing with that many, they got to be right. Because if they're wrong, and they're not there to help set up. So you get one that's been wound up and it's all twisted.
Yeah, you got to train those chords, don't you?
Yeah, I'll just do all that. I don't care because I know they'll be done right. When I get done.
Well, that's nice of it's nice of the community building. I don't know. I'm saying it's nice. It seems like it's nice that they're allowing you to have a little cabinet there because that saves. You guys must use it so regularly too, which is nice for them. You're a returning client that pays
every month, and the number of people that we bring downtown who can enjoy, the hop house, the apothecary, or the whatever
coffee shop, all those things that are down there.
Yeah, the coffee shop's not open,
That's
that
true.
late at
3
night.
o'clock it's closed.
But it's still though. It just brings people to downtown Mazamini, which is, I think, what like most village boards would want that to happen. Especially family entertainment. You could bring your kids too. I mean, we don't do kids songs or anything, but we do a PG version of everything. We're not wild up there.
Smashing guitars and
wild outfits and stuff. The Kiss outfits.
Mr. Schroeder's jumping into the crowd,
body surfing.
Then nobody catch me for one thing. Or else they would go, oh no,
get another hand over here. So I didn't know. That's news to me. Some of that stuff. And you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. We don't like to put people on the spot, so it's just say pass.
Oh, sure.
But since staph infection is such an important part, I mean, it's every week, every month, I should say, every concert. Who are the members of staph infection now? Do you mind mentioning them so we can hear names and what they play?
You probably would see their pictures down at the post office if you if you went down there.
On the most wanted.
So the head of staph infection is Deb.
Okay.
Schroeder. She formed it at Mount Horeb. She's still she makes the decisions about when we play, if we play, that kind of thing. The other female is Joanne Preen, recently retired first grade teacher from Mount Horeb.
Okay, so they're 2 of the originals.
The 2 original members. Okay. She plays fiddle and guitar and vocals. Deb plays guitar and vocals. Everybody sings. So we have 7 microphones set up. And what we do is in the jam setting, we just go in a circle. Okay.
So you still do a jam?
No.
But you do a jam setting.
We operate, that's how we pick out who sings. It's who's ever next.
Really?
So we just go in a circle and it.
So you might do the same song with a different soloist?
No, they would do their own song.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay, but
they all submit like 3 songs
Okay.
that they want to do, and then so that we can just get the key right, because that's the important part.
Okay.
And so Deb will sing a song, and Joanne will do a song, and then Mike and Rick. And,
Mike Forkel.
Mike Forkel is our fiddle player and guitar player. He's the president of the MMC, Mazomanie Music Conservancy. We had a group there in I forget now. It just blends together. The other MMC, Madison Motorcycle Club.
Huh.
They gave us some money for our organization to keep these events going. So that's a whole longer story.
Okay.
Okay, so then Steve Bailey's plays lead guitar, and he's from North Bristol, near Sun Prairie. Him and Mike have been in bands for a long, long time.
Okay.
And so they're, when Gene passed away, about 3 years ago or 4 years ago now, we needed a lead guitar player. He has sat in with us before, and so we asked him if he wanted to, and he said, yeah. And then John Donaldson plays piano for us. Mm-hmm. When Dave left, we asked John, who used to play with Forkel
and Tracks Out of Town.
Tracks Out of Town. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have 4 members of Tracks Out of Town.
Okay.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah, who
play still.
And so they're starting to bring in more, because Tracks dissolved last December. Mm-hmm. That was their last show. So they're starting to incorporate more of their songs, which is okay, because it's their. If it's your turn, you can do whatever song you want, just so, hopefully we've practiced it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we haven't.
Then it's a jam session.
And then it's just tell us the key and we can play it. And then, let's see, Rick Becker plays drums.
Okay.
Longtime Madison drummer. Played in a lot of bands in Madison. He's Mike's roommate.
Okay.
So, again, our son John played drums with us for a few years. And then he lived in Madison at the time. He didn't want to drive out once a month. And so we asked Rick, and Rick's been playing with us. And then Mike Keyser plays bass.
Okay.
So, and I play bass or electric.
Electric,
yeah.
Okay.
I can play bass or drums, but we have better musicians playing those than me. So I just run the sound.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. I didn't know that.
If somebody's absent, we can generally get somebody to run the sound, and then I'll play bass.
Well,
or drums.
Like the engineer in a radio station, like the person behind in a record type production place, the sound man is critically important to the band.
Yeah.
I mean, it can make or break you.
It does. One of the, and especially a small venue where one instrument can be overpowering. Mm-hmm. And then I go talk to the person and I say, I've got you all the way down. You need to turn it down.
Yeah.
And then if you need more monitor, I can put more in the monitor for you.
Sure.
However that works.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen because these musicians are all experienced musicians, and they've all been playing for years and years and years together now. Mm-hmm. So we know almost, we probably have 500 songs we could do. And so we know most of them. But, we haven't put out a CD. We have 2 CDs, Staff Infection. And we haven't, I wanted to say that again was while I was still working. So it's been more than 12 years since we've put out a CD.
So Deb is the decision maker. She's not the president. Mike's the president.
Mike's the president of the MMC.
MMC. Okay, she's the president. She's the
Staff
CEO,
infection.
the main person, the boss of
Yeah.
of the staff infection.
Of staff infection.
Is she also the a lot of bands, they don't necessarily always have like the person that's kind of the music director, but would she be that? Would she be the person that not only makes decisions of who where you're going to play and stuff like that, but also this is how we're going to do it. These are the songs we're going to have for this concert.
Everybody just selects their own songs.
Okay, and then they just put them in the...
And again, enough experience to know that if we're doing 2 waltzes in a row, that we should probably follow it up with maybe a dance song or something.
Sure.
And but sometimes it's tough, especially if you're in the set list, to throw something new in. But again, there's so many. They know so many songs that they can just say, I want to do this song. And everybody knows it already. Yeah. We still rehearse too. I think we're rehearsing Thursday.
Okay.
Not everybody rehearses, but the core rehearse and go through new songs. So every Friday, first Friday, even though the majority of the crowd is an older crowd, that they probably forget what songs we played last Friday.
Yeah, that's helpful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Play it again. I haven't heard that one before.
That's right. So, but we try to work new numbers in every month. And since I don't play that often with them, I if I do get a chance, I just play the same songs that I always have played. Okay. Because they haven't heard them for 6 months.
Sure.
Or whenever the last time I played with them. So,
well, that's a fairly tall order for a band that's not professional, that not the quality necessarily, but being paid as musicians to come up with a new concert every single month. I know it's probably replay some and mix some in there, but you still have to have a pretty good repertoire to be able to play enough songs. You said 500. There's something.
And each night we probably play between 15 and 20.
You do? Okay,
so that's about it. But we can make them as short as we want, and just make them as long as we want. If the philosophy of having a lead, okay, where you sing the first verse, sing the chorus, and then somebody plays a guitar solo. Okay, well, that extends the song.
Correct. Yes,
quite a bit.
Yeah,
and you don't have to have those solos, but you also want to give the player an opportunity to show their stuff.
Sure.
And so and then it extends a song if people are dancing, too. But if we want to get more songs in, then we have less solos.
Sure. That makes sense.
We could cut a minute off of every song, and after 10, it's time for another song, And we generally, when the time's out on First Fridays, we're warmed up, we're ready to go. So I believe this August, it's all staff infection all night. So we'll play until 7:30, take a break, and then we'll come back and finish the night up. Because that way you get to hear all the new stuff, a lot of the old stuff too. Because in 3 hours, you're probably looking at 35 songs. Yeah. And so
that's in August.
That'd be August. Nice. Yeah. Air conditioning. And another thing about our special guests is that we have October, November, December, and January, we have the same guests every month. So every November we have Richard Weigel, who's a very talented musician from Madison, friend of ours. December we have Tracks Out of Town. They'll get back together.
I was going to say
they'll get back together.
They're disbanded, but they can come back for a victory tour every year.
Yeah, 4 of them are already there.
Yeah, true.
Sure.
So just 2 more have to show up. Then in January, it's Richard and Jane Kapusta's band called Moonhouse. You familiar with Richard? They live out on Amenda Road.
Okay.
And I've known them for years and years. And their music is described as folkadelic. Okay.
Never heard that before. That's
so they're every January.
Okay.
And so they're just a great couple, and they have a great band. It's so much fun when they can join us. And then the other months, then we have sort of a rotating schedule where we'll select bands from not always the same. They're usually every 2 or 3 years they'll get invited back.
Okay.
And then with COVID, not doing it for 2 years, we found that most of the bands have stayed together and are very happy to come out here for the same reasons that we like to play. It's early, you get paid, you get good food, and you got a good crowd. All right, it's just really just an ideal setup for bands. So if you guys have any thoughts if you got any bands, we could sure
come up with one ourselves.
Entertain. Yeah. And we have musicians who could sit in with you too, who know.
Studio musicians kind of.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe as we kind of wrap this up, give us kind of an overview. So it's the first Friday of every month, so people can plan on that. It starts at 6 o'clock. It ends around 9-ish, so they kind of know what to. There's almost always the staff infection that plays, and then there's another paid band that comes in. There's food and drink down there. Is that for purchase?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the tickets? Is it free to get in?
It's free to get in.
Okay.
And one of the things we do also is we do a 50-50 raffle.
Okay.
Because this year, it's the first year we'll be giving a scholarship. We haven't decided how much or how many, but it's going to be to some high school student who has been involved in music. Not necessarily going to go on into music, but has been involved in the band or choir or the musicals.
Is that the MCC that's giving that, or staff infection?
That'll be MMC. Yeah,
MMC.
Yeah, MMC, because we just felt that we're doing okay financially. During COVID, we kept a radio station going because First Fridays are actually fundraisers for the radio station.
Okay.
It takes about, we figured $300 a month overhead to run the station. And so we try to make that every month, and we do, but we get contributions from individuals and organizations.
Okay.
And so we've got enough money now to let's branch out into our service to the community. And so plus that's brand new. So yeah, that's we start 6 o'clock, and it's just a pretty relaxing time.
And is that how? Just one last question: is that how Is that how Staff Infection and the MMC fund themselves? Is through donations, and also the food that you're able to sell and the
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. And people can donate. There's no charge to get in.
Sure.
If they have $20, we'll go eat for $5.
Yeah.
Get a couple of drinks, whatever. Buy a ticket for the raffle, and then put the rest in. $20 night is a pretty
hard to beat that.
Yeah,
you don't have
hard to
to
beat.
drive very far either if you're local.
and it's early.
Yeah.
We could be home by 10, but generally this is the time when some of the band we put everything away and we sit down and we talk.
I see.
We talk about things coming up, because
your organizational meeting after the
because they're all we're all friends.
Yeah.
And we've been friends for a really long time. And we've got why do we have this staph infection? See, the thing about it is that or the MMC is because of staph infection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, Mike's the president, I'm the vice president, Deb's the treasurer, Mike and John are board of directors. So, but we don't have meetings very often.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we could have a meeting every first Friday, to talk, and we talk business too.
Sure.
But it's so we don't play a lot. But this summer we got some more gigs. Staph infection has some more gigs. We're playing Memorial Day.
I saw that because we talked with Scott Johannick from the Chamber of Commerce, and you guys are doing that, and then the Memorial Day celebration.
Yeah, the community band will play in the community building, I think, for the celebration or the memorial service, I guess would it be. Then the celebration, we got asked to play for that. And so now we're wondering if we should roll all our equipment over or all of us have enough equipment to do an analog job.
Okay.
So that's what we might do.
Yeah.
Set that up before the way we used to with
Sure.
snakes and, but,
Yeah.
and then we're playing a couple of birthday parties and this year, but again, all within our timeline, because it's tough to get up after playing a whole gig, First Fridays, Deb's there from like 1 o'clock to 10. Yeah, I'm there from 4 o'clock to 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
a big commitment.
It is, but truly the joy that people have when you see them smiling, they hear a song, and they just feel so good. I mean, that's what it's all about. I don't get paid anything. Well, you get what you pay for, as far as sound.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
And it's just that because this organization means a lot more to me than just any money. It's friendships, the teamwork that has to go into this, the collaboration. Anything you want in an organization we have that. So
you get to do it with the community, for the community, and maybe give a scholarship too. So that's
nice, that'll be our first
fringe.
one, and we're so excited to be able to do that. Yeah. We'll have to talk to the music pro. Being that a lot of the community band members play in the pit orchestra, so Mr. Lane, who's the new director. We know each other quite well, so it'll be a pleasant thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Who can we give some money to?
Yes, that's always fun to hear. They don't get that very often, I'm sure.
No.
Well, Will, thank you for spending time with us, and we will we'll get you back to talk about the. What do we say?
The Iron Horse.
The Iron Horse.
Band.
Yes,
Band,
right.
yeah.
Your anniversary. We'll get a separate time where we can just talk about that.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can sometime have a chat about the radio station, the founding of that, and all of that. So I'd like to hear more about that.
That has been a really exciting adventure for us too. I think I think the original license is for 5 years. I want to think.
Okay.
And we just renewed it last year. Yeah, we just got it renewed.
Okay.
So we've been doing it for 6 or 7 years now. Who would have thought that we'd be able to have a local radio station that does do announcements and things like that. But so
let's save that for the next time we get together.
Definitely, you make it pretty easy to sit here and just talk.
That's what we
hope to. Yeah, we like to just have a conversation
back.
with people. So thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, very happy to be here. You're doing a good service too to let the community know what's going on. And once I see this on YouTube, I'll send it out.
Yep.
So it'll probably get like 30 or 40 likes.
Nice. Well, we'll take them, I guess. Huh?
Better than zero.
Yeah. All right.